Welcome back, Tiff County Blue Devil Nation, to another great episode of the Devils Lair. I'm Randy Meadows.
And I'm Todd again. We certainly appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, certainly. As you know, our show is dedicated to Tiff County athletics and all that it has to offer. We like to raise up the kids and kind of give them opportunity to be shown and be seen. And, this is our last quote-unquote football show.
That's right, Randy.
As Tiff County went over to Brunswick last week and took on the Brunswick Pirates.
That's right. It was 7:30 start over there in Brunswick. You had to find the stadium first, but, we got there before the kickoff, which was a good thing. And Brunswick kind of the same situation, Tiff County, and they were looking for a win and playing for a little pride like we were. And they ran a pretty good ball team, actually.
I told you they were not bad from what I've seen of them. Now, granted, that was one game I saw, but they, shoot, we play in a tough region.
We do, and they got a kid that can throw the ball, and is pretty good receiver over there too. So
they chunk the ball around a lot.
They throw the ball a bunch. They, I don't know what they found yardage wise in the air, but they did. They threw the ball quite a bit, and they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I knew they would be. We came out on the bad end of things over there, and
we did. Final score 37-50, and once again, I've said it every episode. Our kids played hard, and they did again this Friday night. They continued to show improvement, and we actually were able to put a little bit together in the air this week. It was good to see that. One kid kind of sticks out is Braylon Dixon. He had a couple of receptions there and a couple of good runs, and it's good to see some of these younger kids kind of have a little standout game there, and Braylon did, and I think that's a kind of a flash into the future there.
Yeah, we put up 37 points, and that's a pretty good total right there. Normally that wins ball games, but it just didn't this week.
Well, and that's the most points we've put up in a while too. So
excuse me.
To go over there and be able to put some points on the board like that you got to feel good about that. And
certainly,
certainly not the season a lot of folks wanted for Tiff County, but I think it was a good season.
That's right, man. It's all about perspective, and we want to keep a positive spin on things.
That's right.
We've done a lot of good things this year,
Right. That's right.
That are really setting the table for next year.
Next year, that's right.
And we'll bounce back next
absolutely.
year. We'll be a little better.
We will be.
We
had a lot of kids that stuck it out the whole season. Worked hard, long through the summer, through the fall, and to be there at the end. Credit to these kids and credit to these coaches.
That's exactly right, man. Sticking it out, and a lot of character building going on this year.
Oh, absolutely. And that's, these seasons, that's what they are. They're character builders.
That's exactly right. It not only, it not only helps them in football, but it helps them in life. And that's really the big picture.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what it's for, help them through life, and they'll carry this experience with them the rest of their life.
Well, with that said, we haven't really talked about this, but I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. What do you expect out of next year's season?
I expect us to improve. I think this year that Coach Reed was able to come in and kind of, get his foundation built and kind of see what he's got, what he needs to work on. We certainly, probably need to get a few more kids out in what we've got. When we're competing against the likes of Lowndes County and Camden County that, have 1,000 more kids in their school, they got, 100 more kids that can go out for football.
That's right.
So he, I think he got his foundation built though this year, and as the season progressed, he started trying to move some personnel around and kind of maybe seeing what some of their strengths were and what their weaknesses were, and as the saying goes, you got to get the right people on the bus, but once you get them on the bus, you got to get them in the right seat.
That's right.
So I think he spent quite a bit of time doing that, and he's not, the season ended Friday night, but he hasn't stopped. Weight training is ongoing. They're doing some benchmarking right now to see how these kids kind of sized up for the season, where they're at, and kind of give them a baseline to work on towards next year.
Certainly
strength and size and that sort of thing, agility. So just because we're not going to be playing Friday nights right now, I don't think we're through getting prepared for next year.
Not by a long shot, Todd. One thing I do want to point out is that this is going to be his first full off season.
That's right.
With the team.
That's
so there's
exactly
going to be a
right.
lot going on,
That's exactly right.
and they're going to be busy, and
yeah.
obviously this is where you win.
Oh yeah,
is in the off season.
That's exactly
and
right.
the regular season take care of itself.
Oh yeah. Well, when you come into a situation like he did last year, and you don't have a full year to start preparing, you start out behind.
That's right.
Look at Coffee County. I mean, Coach Pruitt going in there, another great coach, another great program over there. But they didn't make the playoffs either, So
they started out the season blazing, man.
They did, So I think that's just kind of a testament of what it's like to kind of start out behind the 8 ball, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. Camden finished first.
That's right.
Lowndes second.
Right. That's right.
Valdosta third.
Third, exactly.
And Colquitt fourth.
Yeah.
And man, that's pretty daggum strong there.
That is. When the season started, you really didn't know how things were going to shake out. Camden new to the region, they were good, and but being new to this region, you really thought maybe it'd be a little tougher road for them to hoe, but they did pretty well.
Yeah, that's right. And just again, this region is just so daggum tough, man. It's just hard for anybody to play in, no matter who you are.
That's exactly right.
And Camden came out blazing, and they ended up getting beat Friday night against Colquitt.
Right. That's exactly right.
So I don't think a whole lot of people saw that.
Oh no.
I did get a text Friday afternoon, mid afternoon, from a guy from Moultrie, and he said that they were going to upset Camden Friday night, and I sent him a text back, and I said, I don't doubt it, because I really wouldn't. It didn't shock me a bit.
Coach Probst down there, I mean, I guarantee at the beginning of the season, he had that Friday night circled on his calendar because he knew Camden was going to be tough, and he wants to make a statement. And he knew he'd make a statement if they could beat Camden County. I
agree totally, man. So they went in there and handled business.
That's exactly right. Close game, though.
Yeah, what was it, 13-12?
13-12. I think it wound up being 13-12, but Colquitt actually scored with just very little time left in the clock, and Camden came back down the field and got close enough to attempt a field goal with just a few seconds on the clock, missed the field goal, and that was it. Was
Ramsey kicking it, or was it the other kid?
No, it was the other kid. I think Ramsey was still out. I believe. I'm not sure on that, but I believe it was the other kid kicking.
That's the crazy thing, is that game was kind of meaningless. I mean, they had region wrapped up.
They did.
But deep down inside, sure, there wasn't a whole lot on the line, but you want to win that game still.
Right. Yeah, for Camden there was not. But for Colquitt County, everything was on the line. I mean, that was one of those games that it was a must win really for them to make it to the playoffs.
And that kind of sets up the stage for the playoffs for the Packers, man. Because,
that's right.
I mean, that's right where they want to be.
That's exactly right.
Maybe not exactly the 4 seed going into the playoffs,
right.
But a win to end the season to keep that momentum going into the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting.
It will be. But we'll kind of get over here in the playoffs here in a little bit and kind of talk about that and how things are matching up. But we'll kind of wrap up the season for the Blue Devils. We didn't have the winning season we hoped we'd have. Went 8-2 on the season, or 2-8, excuse me. It would have been 8-2. 2-8.
8-2 would have been nice.
8-2 would have been nice, but started out with a loss over at Westover, and came back around and won 2 straight, 2 big wins, one Houston County and one Worth County, and then we kind of had Thomas County Central come in here and had high hopes there, but come up a little short. Still played a good game, and then we were off to the region.
Yeah,
and you certainly hoped we would have had a couple region wins, and but like you say, this is a tough region, and just fell up a little short there.
That's right. Bear with me, everybody. I've got a cold this week, and I'm coming on the tail end of it, and that's the scratchy throat part of it. So I'm not drinking moonshine this week. This will be water. So bear with me. I'm going to be coughing through the whole thing, and I apologize. So, we were doing well, hit the region wall, man.
That's right.
Damn, it's just, it's tough. It just is tough. And we're not the only ones. Obviously, Moultrie had hard times. Coffee had hard times, especially starting out in the blaze. And
that's exactly right.
Brunswick had their woes.
They did. And, there were times when Valdosta was struggling. So
2 weeks ago, we didn't know how the bottom of those playoffs were going to shake out.
Right. That's exactly right. You had Valdosta, Coffee, and Colquitt there, and all vying for those final 2 slots down there, and man, just really didn't know.
That's right. A little crazy and a little shaky.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Do you know what kind of schedule we've got next year? I know they probably haven't put it all together.
You know, I don't know they have put it all together. I feel like it'll be similar to this year. Kind of, we'll probably reverse some of the trips. We'll probably have Camden coming over here and Brunswick coming over here, and we'll probably have to travel to Lowndes and travel to Valdosta. And
well, after you ride to Camden, you appreciate Lowndes County being 45 miles away.
That's going to be just like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
The last Friday night when I finally got home and got to bed, it was about 1:45.
Good gracious.
So,
I thought y'all's private jet would get there pretty quick.
No? That wasn't the problem. Is waiting on those charter buses to get home. Had to sleep fast Friday night.
Yeah, I can't imagine. So, unreal.
But, we'll appreciate having those teams over here next year.
Yeah. Well, one thing's for sure, let me knock on wood. We don't have any readjustments in the region or anything like that going on this year. So exactly we know who we're going to play.
We know who we're going to play. That's right. We know who our region's going to be. And
hey, we've answered some questions this year. Is Camden going to be as good in our region as they are in theirs?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right.
And yes, they are.
They are.
And so we can't point fingers at their weak schedule no more.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
now granted, they've got 4 D1 guys that are impact players for that team.
That's right.
But they got other guys that are going to step up.
They're deep,
Yeah, they are. So we'll see next year, man, exactly how deep these guys are.
That's exactly right. And I was kind of glad to see Colquitt County beat Camden, because the smack had kind of started, and, Camden, hey, nobody in this region is going to beat us. They'd kind of gotten on that high horse a little bit. So, I wasn't too disappointed to see them get beat.
Yeah, well, sometimes a team like that needs a good beating to get them revved up and ready to play.
Right. That's exactly right.
Kind of a cup check, so to speak.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
And so they're getting checked, and
that's right. That's right.
I think it's a great scenario for both teams. Colquitt needed a win going into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And maybe Camden needed that loss to kind of sit back and say, what, we can be beat.
That's exactly right. So. But anyway, we'll kind of wrap up that as the first quarter there, Randy.
Sounds good to me, but
all right, we'll wrap that up.
I'm gonna get me some of this water.
Water.
Oh, that's refreshing.
Hey. So anyway, we of course kind of got the region standings here. Of course, like we said, Camden wound up in first place, Lowndes second. Then we wound up with Valdosta, Colquitt County, Coffee, Brunswick, and then Tifton. Kind of how everything shook out there. I don't know any surprises there to you, Randy?
I have to say no, just for the fact I don't want to sound like a true Blue Devil, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We weren't, we should have won more games than we did, but we didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
We just
That's
didn't. But that's not a shot at anybody. That's just maybe we could have beat Brunswick. I kind of thought we would.
I really thought we would too.
And a lot of people did. But until you see them play, you kind of sit back and go,
that's right.
Oh, okay, they're not bad.
Exactly. Maybe we took them a little lightly. I don't know. They're a good team, and I just don't know. Would you really hope we'd go over there and beat them? Coffee
shocked me a little bit. I really thought they'd sneak in this year. But
I did too.
Last game against Valdosta, man, just was kind of a dud.
I know. I mean, 44-0, I think was the final score, or something like that. Or
I think they put some. I think they put 6 up.
May have put 6 up, but man, I just I was shocked at that when I heard the score. I was shocked.
Definitely, I thought they would slip in, and I thought they would. If they would have won that game at Lowndes,
right?
Played 4 quarters of football instead of the 4th quarter.
Hey, listen.
You could be talking about how Colquitt's on the outside looking in this week,
right.
and
that's right.
I mean, it's just crazy.
It is. Every Friday night's a different Friday night. So you just never know. You just never know.
Colquitt went 7-3, Valdosta 7-3,
right?
And Lowndes and Camden both 9-1,
right?
Then you had Coffee at 5-5.
Yeah, 5-5 and not make the playoffs.
Yeah. 5-5, not make the playoffs. 4-6 was Brunswick, and we were 2-8.
Right.
So,
right.
There's one game separating Coffee and Brunswick.
Right. That's right.
And
that's kind of a surprise there, really.
2 games separating us from Coffee.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
So, just kind of, it's a good region.
It is, and down the road it's just going to continue to be tough. I think Tift County's going to improve. Coffee's certainly going to improve next year. Nobody's going to be a pushover.
Oh, I agree.
Nobody.
Now, who do you think going into next year will be the team to beat in our region?
Well, you know,
it's kind of hard to sit here and speculate.
It is.
Stuff,
it is. You know, and you've seen teams that would go all the way to state, make the playoffs, maybe come away with a championship, and the following year just it's a rebuilding year for them. You know, you've seen that happen.
Lowndes, it's happened to Lowndes a couple of times.
It has. So.
I say rebuild. They end up in the playoffs and beat two teams in the playoffs.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
But that's rebuild.
That's rebuild for Lowndes County. That's exactly right. You know, Camden, I think they're just deep. I think they're that deep, and you know, credit where credit's due. Coach Aaron does a great job over there, and you know, they'll be there again next year, no doubt, no doubt. You know, if Coach Probst is still in Concord County next year, who knows?
Is he on the hot seat or something?
Well, you know, he's always on the hot seat.
He stays in the hot seat.
He stays in the hot seat.
And a lot of that's his fault now. Let's be honest. It is.
It is. You know, he's does it to himself. You know, he's a victim of his own circumstances.
Yes, he is.
But you know, they're going to be there. You know, a lot of people didn't really have them ranked real high this year, and didn't see a whole lot of light at the end of the tunnel for Concord County. But hey,
they lost their first game by a last-second field goal.
That's right.
And it kind of seemed like it set the tone for them.
Yeah, right.
Then they got into region play, struggled against Valdosta.
Right,
and,
that's right.
You know, they had their setbacks.
They did. But, you know, it seems like they seem to, as the year progresses, they get towards the end of that season, that's when they kind of start rolling. And, you know, I look for them to go deep in the playoffs. I really do. I think
they will too. I don't know exactly how deep.
Yeah, I know.
I've looked it over a little bit.
The brackets, and I tell you, that's
there's always that one team
that's right.
from the north
that
just kind of comes out of nowhere.
It just surprises everybody. Yeah. That's exactly
and I'm
right.
not talking like
not a North Gwinnett
or Grayson or anybody like that. I'm talking like let's see who's on here.
Yeah, just one of those teams you never heard of. You know, like a Milton. You know.
Milton,
you know, third seed. You know,
they're a basketball school, and I watched them Friday night a little bit.
Right.
Let me take a swig of this moonshine.
You drink too much of that now. This show might go a long ways.
Yeah, well, if I fall down. But Milton played one of the Gwinnett teams Friday night, and it was on TV, and I was watching a little bit of it. And they just didn't look sharp to me.
Right.
It's just a different brand of football. But that's the kind of team that will mess up and beat somebody.
Well,
that's the thing.
You know, and they're not flashy or anything like that. And a lot of times you really don't know how to prepare for those teams. And
right.
You might, you know, I'm sure, you know, as coaches watch films, they may miss some things, you know, that, you know, you can pull some things out of the hat that you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I agree. So, but, you know, I don't know. Are we going to get into the brackets now? Is that what you want to do?
Well, you want us to end that second half there?
Yeah, let's go to halftime, Donovan.
Let's do a halftime here.
We're good. We're at halftime now. This is where we all get up and go get popcorn. And
that's right. Where's it at?
Pizza.
How much?
I'm assuming it's over here in the... No, nothing?
Doggone it.
We'll
work on that.
I feel like I'm at home.
Oh, man. Good thing my kids aren't here. They'd be disappointed.
They would be disappointed. Cotton candy. They still have cotton candy at the football games?
Well, some stadiums do, some stadiums don't.
Where you go.
That's exactly right. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. Lowndes County, y'all need to work on your concession stands.
Last time I was down there, which was, I guess, was it last year in the playoffs? Maybe 2 years ago in the playoffs. They, I went out and got, they played Collins Hill.
Uh-huh.
And me and my buddy Tracy, we hit the trifecta where we started off our night in Lowndes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. We all doing that.
We went to Valdosta.
Right.
And Colquitt, Valdosta, and then Lowndes.
Right.
And we watched all three games at some point in time, and then we came back to Tifton. And had Brooks been playing at home, we would have been watching Brooks too, but because we had to go right through there.
Right.
But it was kind of a neat thing to do, and I enjoyed it. It rained, but
wow,
I had my rain suit on, and we were sitting there watching them play. Who did Colquitt play? They beat them, not Hillgrove. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, so all three of them we watched them, and I was at Lounge, and I was like, man, I'm ready to get something to eat. So I go out there to the concession stand, and I got like some 3-day-old pizza.
That's
and
right.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, I'm just I'm just gonna throw that out there. They could work on that.
Well, years ago, when I started officiating football, I wanted, all I've ever heard is Valdosta, Valdosta, Valdosta.
Right.
Well, my first year, I got to go to Valdosta, working Valdosta game, and I can't remember who they're playing, but Sanford Bishop's there.
Oh, really?
Sanford Bishop. It was an election year.
Obviously.
Sanford Bishop. Newt Gingrich was there.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Newt Gingrich was there. He did the coin toss. They come down to us and said, do y'all mind if Newt Gingrich does the coin toss? And you're like, I mean, are you going to tell him no?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we were being evaluated by the state.
Oh, my.
And so we got wrote up for it.
For letting him do the toss?
For letting him do the coin toss.
Really?
And I'm thinking,
Georgia
whoever
High School
wrote us up,
Wow.
you come tell him no.
That's exactly right.
So we're down there, and, I'm like, all right, man, I'm at Valdosta High. This is great. Well, halftime, we go underneath the bleachers back then. It's old Bazemore High when it was
before they
a little more dilapidated.
Right, exactly.
When the cats coming out of the tunnel, they were hitting the tin roof
and
that
ripping
fly
it
off. Yeah, it was back in the day, man.
Back when they intimidated everybody.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yep.
In their heyday. And going there, and normally, the thing to do is take care of your referees.
Right.
Now, not
That's
everybody
right.
does that, and we don't expect it, but there's some places who
do a little better job than others.
You expect in 1-6A that
That's
you're
right.
taken care of.
That's right.
And man, we went in there, and it was dirt floor, and they didn't even have a bottle of water for us.
Wow.
And I'm
wow.
like, and so the guy I was with, I love him to death, man. He's like a grandfather of mine, and he worked at a prison, so he's kind of that hard older man.
Yeah. Right.
And he said, "You didn't expect this, did you?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You thought that you was going to come in here and be wined and dined." He said, "Welcome to Valdosta." And so I just kind of like, ever since then, I was like, geez.
Yep,
so,
that's right.
But a lot of times, what it is on the road being a referee is when you go to the smaller towns, the smallest itty bitty ones.
That's who has the spread.
That's who has the spread.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
And it's not. It doesn't have a bearing on the game. But we love to go somewhere where there's some grub. I promise you that. So
yeah, probably some of those home cooked when they go to those places too, isn't it?
Who is the single A school over near Columbus? Catholic school over there. They're a powerhouse typically in single A. They are they have their own barbecue.
Wow.
And they produce this barbecue like at the school.
Wow, the good stuff, huh?
And it's pretty daggone good. So anytime we get a playoff assignment and look at it, it's like, yes. So that's a plus. But Wheeler County, small town, not a great football team. Right. Always has a good spread.
Right.
So,
well, how about that?
That's right. Anyway, so that's a tale from the referee road.
It's always kind of get a perspective from the guys in the stripe side.
Yeah, I've got so many stories and things I could say that
some you can't,
and many I can't. But hit me up on Facebook.
That's
you know
right.
where to find me.
That's right. That's exactly right. So,
anyways, where were we at? I got off on one of them.
Well,
Jackie
that's
tangents,
fine,
right?
and that's okay. We those stories are good. No, we're going to talk about the brackets here a little bit and kind of do a little prognosticating there.
Yeah.
Region wise,
take it quarter by quarter.
Well,
quadrant by quadrant.
Let's do that. Why don't we just kind of break it down? How do you want to do this?
Let's go.
Okay.
Left to right.
Okay.
No, scratch that. Let's go by number one in the region being Camden.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
start with them.
Okay. Camden. They're going to host Hillgrove. I don't know a whole lot about Hillgrove.
I saw some highlights of Hillgrove this weekend when I was up in North Georgia. Hillgrove looked good.
Did they?
I was like, I was taken back by them.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I don't know much about Hillgrove. But like I said, I saw them matched up with Camden, and I was kind of shocked. And I don't remember who their last game was against.
Right.
But I'm sure it was a rivalry game because that's typically how they're all set up.
Right.
So Hillgrove kind of impressed me. I don't know that they're going to get by Camden, but They got to play the game.
That's exactly right.
They got to go from Hillgrove all the way down to Camden County, so they probably left yesterday trying to get down there.
They better have.
That's a long road.
It is. It is. So, who knows? I mean, I think Camden's, when I kind of look at the brackets, I mean, I think Camden's really kind of got a cakewalk, really and truly.
I think so too, man. I think their toughest team may be Norcross.
Norcross, or, if Chattahoochee winds up beating Norcross. Chattahoochee's pretty good this year. Even though they were number 4 seed in that region, they're a pretty good team.
They're always pretty solid. There's some guys up in North Georgia right now looking at doing their podcasts, thinking, going through their bracket and thinking they're the best region in the state
that's
too.
Right. That's exactly
and they're probably like going, well, Camden's pretty good. They got beat this weekend by the number 4 team.
That's
in that
right.
region.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Who really doesn't know? So we may be outside of our boundaries a little bit with this, but
that's right.
I don't care.
Well, and at this point in the season, I'm pulling for Region 1.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
definitely
care who makes it. I'm pulling for Region 1.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, what else? I mean, who else are we going to cheer for?
Absolutely.
I don't have another horse in the race right here.
That's it.
Well, Camden should play the winner of Newton and East Coweta.
Right.
Newton's a pretty good team, and East Coweta's not bad either.
They're not.
And I think East Coweta's going to win that one. And then, moving on down that bracket, you got Norcross and Chattahoochee.
Right. South Gwinnett and Milton.
And I want to say that's who played each other Friday night. And South Gwinnett beat Milton.
Oh, wow.
But don't hold me to that. It was one of them Gwinnett teams they played.
Right.
So how do you see that breaking out into the semifinals over here? Obviously, I think you've got to go Camden.
You got to go Camden. And
so who's going to come out of the bottom to face Camden to get to the Dome?
Really, probably Norcross. And Norcross has been a good team for a long time.
Certainly.
I actually have some relatives up from that area, and my cousins actually went to school up there, and they've had some good teams over the years. So a little bit of tradition there, actually. So Camden, Norcross probably.
All right. Well, let's move across the bracket over here to the number 2 team, which is Lowndes.
Lowndes, right? Exactly.
They're going to play Marietta.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And this kind of scares me a little bit, man.
I think Lowndes may have a tougher time than Camden. I really do.
Well, their bracket starts with Lovejoy at the top.
Right.
They have Tri-Cities. I don't think that's a tough one.
No, exactly.
Marietta's kind of that scary team. Then they have Grayson. And Grayson's always tough.
And they're playing Wheeler, which is not a slouch.
Wheeler's not a pushover.
No.
North Gwinnett, the number 2 team out of that region.
And Johns Creek.
Creek.
Man, I tell you, that's Lowndes probably has the toughest draw.
Yeah, I think so. Just looking it over, man, this is kind of a tough one.
And Grayson, they've been ranked, in numerous polls nationally, and certainly pulling for Lowndes County to go as far as they can go. But I think they got a tough road there.
Yeah, Lovejoy should get by Tri-Cities.
Yep.
Obviously we think Lowndes is going to beat Marietta, but that's going to be a tough game.
It will be.
Grayson probably will beat Wheeler.
Yep.
And then at the bottom, I think North Gwinnett.
I think so too. I think you're going. Wow.
Can Lowndes beat Lovejoy?
Yeah. I don't know.
I watched a little bit of their highlights this weekend. They impressed me a lot.
I think you wind up with maybe Lovejoy and maybe Grayson there.
Do you? Which would be a great matchup.
It would be.
I don't know if I'd rather see Lowndes and maybe they do it. I don't know.
I just watching Lowndes play this year, I don't see them making that deep of a run in the playoffs this year. I'd love to see it, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. The one thing I can say about Lowndes, man, they're battle tested.
They are. That's true.
I mean, you don't get much bigger than playing Camden on the ESPN.
Oh, that's exactly right.
And that's a ball game. So if you can play that game, and they didn't do awful in that game.
They didn't do awful.
Win. You can go in and win these state playoffs.
That's right.
Problem.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
They do have the toughest road. It looks like.
Yeah, and they got to be on their A game throughout.
You see Grayson and Lovejoy in the semis is what you think?
Yeah, I do.
Who you think's going to win out of them two?
I think Grayson.
You're on the Grayson Rams.
Well, I don't think you can discount what they've got going on there.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm
liking Lowndes, man. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. Hey.
I'm liking Lowndes and Grayson.
Lowndes and Grayson.
That's what I'm going with.
That'd be a good matchup.
It will be. So
big matchup.
excuse me. Bottom left of the corner, we got Valdosta down there dangling in the middle of the bracket.
That's right. That's right. You know, I'll be quite honest with you. Valdosta may have the easiest road other than Camden. You know, you got some Rockdale County's pretty good. Lassiter, that's.
They're pretty solid. I like Lassiter in this bottom bracket, and they're playing Brookwood, who won 2 years ago,
right?
Against Colquitt.
That's right. That's right.
I really think. I mean, I don't know. I think Valdosta gets by North Cobb. Then
they
play.
Too.
I don't know who Hughes is. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do.
I've never heard of them.
I don't know who Hughes is.
Probably new school.
Probably. They play Rockdale County.
Yeah.
The Rock. I used to know. I know a few people that live in Rockdale.
Oh, okay. I thought you maybe knew a few people that lived at the Rock, whatever that is.
Rockdale, man. They call it the Rock.
Okay.
That town. I mean, they might win just on sheer what's that little Honey Boo Boo girl say? Red neck and eyes or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Rockdale County is like the pinnacle of rednecks up in Atlanta, man. They are like on it. So,
man, our fans up there is not going to like you for saying that.
I don't care. They better redneck and eyes or whatever. I heard that the first time, and I felt awful to be from Georgia, man. They ought to lock that little girl up.
I'm telling you, that's embarrassing to us.
Anyways, so I feel like I mean, so Rockdale might put it on Hughes. I don't know who Hughes is.
That's right. That's right.
They might bring a knife or something, or a slingshot, or a crossbow, or I don't know how they hunt up there in the Rock, but I can see them beating Hughes. I can see it.
Yep.
And then I see Valdosta winning against North Cobb.
Right.
That Lassiter Brookwood's going to be
Lassiter
something.
Brookwood may be the game in that bracket down there.
Mill Creek, that's who Colquitt played.
Yeah.
When I went to the trifecta game.
I got you.
So Mill Creek's always pretty good. I think they're the Warriors. Then Alpharetta. So I look out of this bracket. I look for Lassiter to beat Alpharetta to get to the semis against Valdosta.
I do. I'm looking at Valdosta and Lassiter in that one.
Yeah, but, because I don't know who Hughes is, I'm sure they're a northern team, and
that's right. And they're mad at you by now for not knowing them. But
I apologize, Hughes. Win the state title, I know who you are.
But yeah, I think Valdosta and Lassiter.
Me too. I like that. So then that leaves number 4, who is
Colquitt County over here.
Sneaky number 4 Colquitt County Packers.
And they got McEachern this week.
Excuse me. Well, typically when the number 4 team out of our region is going to get McEachern up there.
That's right.
That's how it's been for years.
That's right. I think Colquitt County's prepared.
Well,
McEachern's good, but
McEachern better wake up Friday ready to play some football.
If they're not ready,
they're going to get popped in the mouth.
Probst and company's going to pop them in the mouth.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't need no poster board material to get ready for.
No.
Ready for these boys.
Definitely not. And you got Noonan in there in that side. Collins Hill, Parkview.
I watched some Parkview.
Yeah. Who did Colquitt County play in the Corky Kell Classic?
That was Walton, wasn't it?
It was Walton. I believe it was.
They're the number 2 team.
Exactly. So,
so what you're saying is you can see Colquitt and Walton meeting up again.
That's right.
I think Colquitt's a better team than they were at the beginning of the season.
No doubt.
And, at the same time, I hope Walton is too. I hope they've all improved.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I think, I think when you get to the semis there, I think you got Colquitt County and probably Walton.
You like Walton? I like West Forsyth out of that.
Do you really?
Yeah,
okay.
They're a pretty solid team.
Well,
I think Collins Hill's probably down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
They're never great, but they'll beat you.
They'll beat you. That's right.
That's Lowndes County. I think that was the third game of my trifecta that I went and watched, and they beat Lowndes in Lowndes, which is a tough feat in itself. So, I like West Forsyth and Colquitt.
Yeah.
So. Basically, we got three out of 4 teams really going, and I almost have 4 out of 4 going to the semis.
Yep, and that'd be quite interesting if that happened.
We say that every year. Everybody who fills out a bracket from down here puts us in.
I know, all 4.
And it never happens.
But
one day it will.
It will. This could be the year.
And this really could be the year.
It could be. When man, what you talking about interesting? Now you would have Lowndes and Valdosta playing one another, Wintersville Classic again, and then you would have Camden and Colquitt playing one another, a rematch. Man, wow.
Maybe they would make those games on a Friday night and a Saturday night, so everybody around here could go to each game. That'd be awesome, man.
I tell you what, that'd be some of the best football I believe you'd ever see in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, probably a lot of people coming from all over to catch that.
Absolutely. So, and think about it, Lowndes and Valdosta, you kind of hate it for them because they both of them would have to travel to the Dome to play that game, and wow.
I know.
Well, no.
Do you like it in the Dome?
I'm not a fan, Randy. I'm not. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of playing football in the Dome.
You were about to say the semis are at home.
That's right.
At then, somebody's, and then the Dome was
exactly
finals.
So you would actually wind up with Valdosta and Lowndes in Lowndes County somewhere. I don't know where they play that game. Depends on how the brackets wind up and that sort of thing. But, I know, get back to your question, I'm not a fan of playing football in the Dome. I just think it takes away from the communities being able to have a home game, playoff games. I mean, that's just, you get so much more excitement that way.
But your college bowl games are neutral site. Your Super Bowl is typically neutral site.
But we're, this is high school football though, and I guess one of the things that kind of a detractor from me is these games or these teams up around Atlanta. Most of these kids have been to the Dome at some point in time. They've seen it, they've been there. They've experienced it. You get these kids from South Georgia, especially some of these smaller communities. A lot of those kids never even been to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then to go to Atlanta and just all of that, then going to the Georgia Dome. I think it puts some of us folks down here in South Georgia at a disadvantage.
Yeah, it does. Depending on your geographical location, it kind of, you like that word geographical. I kind of threw that.
Man, that's one of the big words.
I'm getting smarter sitting beside you, Todd. Again, I tell you what.
I'm glad I had some sort of positive influence on you, small as it may be.
As insignificant as it may be.
Wow.
It's 2 in a row, buddy.
Man.
2 in a row. Anyways, I like it being played at the Dome, but I don't. I mean, I'm like you, man. I'm kind of. High school football is such a community game.
It is.
When you ride through town, you see places shut down to go to the football game.
That's right.
There's a book by what's his name? Is it Grisham? Called Bleachers.
Yes, it is.
I encourage everybody to read that book, man. It's a real good book.
Right.
It's about high school football and how the town, little small town in Texas is. I had it, but you can find it. It's a John Grisham book called Bleachers. Mm-hmm. Check it out, man. It's great. It's the epitome of South Georgia and hometown football. Right. And, that's what, if you say Lowndes Valdosta meets in the semis.
That's right.
Everybody, I would go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going.
Exactly.
A lot of people from around are going.
That's right.
And that helps their economy.
Oh, it does.
And the thing that gets me is, like you said, man, is we can ride down there to go to that game. We might not be able to ride to Atlanta.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And, a lot of these kids, like you said, man, there's a lot of people who've never left their hometowns.
That's it.
And it's a good thing they have radio broadcasts and they wouldn't get to. But if there's a state championship and grandma couldn't see this kid play, man, that's a travesty.
That's exactly right. I know the 1983 Tifton County went over to LaGrange, and that's a pretty good haul for a lot of folks from Tifton.
Sure is.
And
it was tougher, but it's easier to get there now.
It's easier to get there now, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it.
I know, but Georgia high school has all the money tied up in.
Yeah, I know.
It's all about the dollar, man.
It's all about the dollar. Unfortunately, it's gotten down to this level, and that's what I don't like about it.
Yeah, it takes the purity of the game.
To me, it does. And we talked about going to different football games. I know me and one of our mutual friends, Tracy Lott, went to the last state final game to be played outside the Dome when Lowndes and North Gwinnett played, and we wanted to go just because of that fact. And it was a great atmosphere. Man, I've never seen a football game with it rain so much. We were soaked by the end of the game, but we stayed the whole game. That's what football's about. Even though it rained, they're outside playing. Playing on sprint turf. They weren't playing on natural turf, but still they were outside. And
you got to take the good with the bad.
You got to take the good with bad. To me, that's high school football.
I agree, man. It's a great thing, man. I love it, and you know, I've been to many Georgia games, many pro games. I worked up there with the Falcons for a couple of years, and I love high school football.
Oh, I know.
High school athletics. It's just so, the passion these guys have for the game is unreal.
You know, and I think we've probably mentioned this before, but those guys are out there because they want to be out there. Guys, gals, what have you, whatever sport it is, they're out there because they want to be out there. You know, they didn't get a scholarship to play at high school. They're not getting paid professionally to go play. They're there because they want to play the game.
Yep, I agree. It's something special.
It is.
And again, you know, anybody to dedicate that much of their time of their life to something to get, to not get paid for it these days seems unreal.
It does. But hey, it still happens.
I mean, it's not just football or basketball or athletics, man. If you're involved in something, get out there and push your kids to get into something.
That's right.
Besides trouble.
That's exactly right. So, well, Randy, with kind of all that, looking at the playoff brackets there on that region or that classification, who you like?
Who do I like winning?
Yep.
Who won it all last year?
Do you
remember?
Can I be honest? No.
I don't either, and I should have researched it before we came on air, but I didn't. I don't know. Yeah, it's such a toss-up, and it's going to be tough. I think Camden will be there.
They got to beat Colquitt to be there, though.
They owe them one.
But I don't know.
Well, see, this week I can see Camden going out and getting up on Hillgrove.
That's right.
Pulling Ramsey out, resting a little more.
That's right.
He's got an injured foot and whatnot. Right. But I can, again, their game Friday night, they had not a lot of impact on how the playoffs are going to
That's exactly right.
scale out.
That's
but
right. Well, you got down there in Colquitt County, you got Seagraves and DeMott, that two quarterbacks that Pros uses down there.
Yeah.
So kind of the same situation Camden's got there. He's got a couple of guns there. So
I don't know. I think Camden's going to be there, and something tells me Laster's going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just Lassiter, I'm thinking it is going to be there. But there's going. Both of them are number one teams, number one seeds.
That's right.
And normally it doesn't work out that way.
How many times have we seen number one seed not make it?
Several.
That's exactly right. There's going to be that sleeper somewhere.
And I just don't know who it's going to be. I hope it's out of our region.
Yep.
And it could be Colquitt, man. Woo.
Exactly.
So who do you think?
Honestly, I like Colquitt's chances. I really do.
Do you really?
I really do. I don't know why, but this is the time of year where they kind of start peaking and performing, and they've been to the dance a couple times, and last time they went, they fell a little short. I think they kind of got up there and kind of got starry-eyed, and that, but I like their chances.
Hope we have an all-1 6A semifinal, because then I'll pull the double play where I'll go to both games.
Hey, that'd be wonderful.
That would be great.
Man.
And that's what I hope happens, because I won't be able to go to the Dome this year.
Well, if you have that happen, you're going to have Lowndes and Valdosta playing in Valdosta. They'll play at Lowndes County.
Yeah.
Then you'd have Camden and Colquitt, and that game would be in Camden County.
That's all right. I'll start off in Valdosta, then
just call your pilot and have him on standby.
I'm gonna go ahead and put him on alert right now.
Go ahead.
Red alert. So what date is that on? That's on the that's on the 8th.
December 7th or 8th. Yeah.
I can go to 7th. I can't go to 8th. I've got the BDI and and a Christmas party that night.
Oh, we do have a Christmas party that night, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Anyway, that's true. Well,
no, I hope they don't make it. No, I'm teasing.
We want them to make it.
I'm not selfish.
That's right. So, what else we got there, Randy?
I don't know. What else you want to talk about, man?
Well,
we've kind of wrapped about everything up.
End of the third quarter there, and kind of wrap things up a little bit.
What do you want to talk about in the fourth quarter there, Todd?
Well, high school football, I mean, it's a great sport. Communities get behind these kids every Friday night, and and it's more than just kids out there on the football field. I mean, you got band kids involved, you got a lot of parents involved. A lot of these communities use the ROTC to help with seating and stuff like that. Even some of your church groups get involved and running concession stands, that sort of thing. So,
excuse me.
It's a community event.
Certainly.
And a lot of effort goes into it.
Yeah.
By a lot of folks.
I've been around football my whole life, man, and I never have even thought about ROTC till just now whenever you mention that.
Yep.
And there's so many aspects. You know, a lot of times the ROTC, at the games I'm at, the color guard will bring the flags out.
Exactly
and,
right.
you know, that is a vital and important part of the game.
Absolutely. You know, Pledge of Allegiance, and a lot of these, you know, folks, they still do a prayer too, you know, and they, to heck with these laws that are on these books somewhere, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Go to Ashburn, brother. I tell you what, they'll be up there praying for rain.
You know, so, you know, it's a community event, and that's what they try to do. They try to reach out to the community and, you know, kind of, you know, get everybody involved. Yeah,
I agree. And that's kind of what this program's about, man. We want everybody involved and everybody to be out there, you know, supporting these athletics.
That's right.
And just Tift County in general, man.
That's exactly right.
It takes all of us.
It takes all of us. And I'm telling you, you know, when you got programs that are doing great, basketball, football, you know, the chorus, the band, what have you. I mean, it gives your community a sense of pride, and you know, a lot of positive things come out of that, Randy.
Yeah. You know, I don't have a kid that plays basketball. I try to go to as many games as I can. It's hard for me during the wrestling season,
I know.
But I try to get to as many as I can because they need support, you know.
Right. That's right. That's right.
And whether it's me sitting there just, you know, clapping my hands, I'm another person making noise in that gym.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You know, to support these kids. Everybody counts, man.
Everybody.
And you know, it's like I said, ROTC. I've never really thought about them being so involved in football, but they are.
Yeah, that's
right.
And
the band. There's nothing worse than going to a football game and there's no band.
There's no band. Exactly.
Nothing worse than it.
That's right.
Had a guy on my football crew. He said, we were at a game the other night, and he said, "Where's the band?" I mean, it's rare we go somewhere there's not a band.
Right.
And I said, they don't have a band.
Wow.
Well, at halftime, the band come rolling in just before halftime.
Wow.
It was one of the Albany schools.
Oh, yeah.
And they come in, and when the band showed up, I mean, they were jamming.
The whole
they were just
changed.
rocking it. Yeah, everything changed. And, you know, as officials, we're out there, you know, all middle-aged and old men out there. You know, we're excited to see the band. I can imagine the kids who
that's right.
understand and know the music they're playing.
That's right. Exactly.
It makes a difference to them.
It does.
So, you know, they're a vital part. One thing about the band, man, if you're in the band and you do the national anthem, don't mess it up. Get it right. If you don't get but one song right, get the national anthem right. I don't care what your show is for the year. If it's, you know, keep on rocking in the free world, you know, miss a note here, there, and that. But that's the only time that everybody in the whole place is listening to you.
You know, and Randy,
get it right.
You know, and you travel around quite a bit and see different bands. And one thing I've noticed is how, you know, a lot of bands have kind of taken the Star Spangled Banner and have kind of just fine-tuned it to, you know, fit their scheme or what have you. You know, I've noticed a lot of different versions of it this year.
Really? Yeah, I mean, that's how most places
you
are.
You know, and it's just, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's not the standard that you heard for years and years and years. Everybody's kind of getting their own take on it now a little bit. So,
well, that's Whitney Houston's fault.
Yeah, you probably right about that.
I mean,
you know,
one of the best renditions ever. And I've been to places where they play hers, and I get just as pumped up for it as I do any of them.
That's exactly right. You know, it could be worse. We could have Roseanne there singing.
Yeah, or me. Either one. About the same. We look about the same. It's just. Did I say that out loud? I did.
That's it.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that you know, we just need to pat on the back.
That's
and that go unnoticed.
That's exactly right.
And most of these people don't want praise, but you know what?
They're doing it.
Sometimes you like to say, you know, hear it say, you know, hey man, we appreciate what you're doing.
Well, you know, Randy, a lot of times you do a lot of things, and you know, you don't want recognition, and then you know somebody recognizes the hard work that you put in. You're like, well, man, somebody did recognize that. I wasn't looking for recognition, but I'm glad somebody appreciated what we did do.
That's exactly right.
They
might not want it out in front of everybody, but it's nice to go up to them, shake their hand, and say, "Hey, you know what?
That's right.
I know what you do. Thank you."
Right. That's exactly right. So,
one other thing I want to hit on is that whether it's debate, whether it's basketball, we got a fishing team. Do you know we have a fishing team?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a fishing team. I know.
No matter what you're doing, man, these kids need support.
They need support. That's
no matter
right.
what, no matter how insignificant or meaningless it is to you, it's important to these kids that are going out.
You know, and I've talked to Coach Begay a couple times about the fishing team. Man, you talking about somebody excited about a fishing team.
Man, what are you talking about?
And, you know, these kids, he takes them off fishing different lakes and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of these kids wouldn't have that opportunity if it weren't for that fishing team.
That's exactly right,
you know,
man.
So, man, even that's a great thing right there, too.
One of my fondest memories has been with my grandfather on Lake Eufaula fishing my whole life. That's what I grew up doing, man.
Right.
And, you know, anytime my kid wants to go, we try to go because my grandfather did it for me, and I'm going to let, you know, my dad took me to Canada fishing, and it was probably one of the best experiences ever. So I didn't like roughing it and sleeping in tents and all because I'm kind of a sissy boy like that. But, you know, hey, it was great. But, you know, there's a lot of programs out there that your kids can be involved in.
That's exactly right.
You got to look for them.
That's exactly
and
right.
It may take an extra tank of gas a month to do it, but man, do it.
Well,
get your kid out there. Get them involved.
You know, and your kid's involved. I mean, my kids are involved, and you know, it is a commitment. It's a commitment on the family. It really is. But the rewards, I think, are just, you know, they're so great. You know, in the end, it is worth every penny that you spend on gas, every hour you lose of sleep, what have you. You know,
that's right, man.
It is worth it.
Some of the best experiences of my life came through high school.
Right.
And if I could go back and do it over again, my dad asked me, said, Randy, how much would you change? I said, you know what? Not much.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I did a lot of good things in life, and you know, I've done some bad. And but I wouldn't change because I've gotten better because of every single one of them.
Right.
I become a better person
That's
because of it. And you know, we need some of these other kids get this opportunity to be better people.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. Some of these kids, that's all they want is an opportunity.
Yep, that's exactly right.
They just want that opportunity. So but you know, football season's over with. You know,
what's our next journey, Todd Gann?
You know, basketball season is cranked up. I think they actually have their first game December 1st. Wrestling season's here. I know the high school, they go to Waycross on Saturday for the Gator Duels over there. 8th Street kicked off today, I believe.
They beat Hayhira today. Defending their conference title.
Right. That's great. That's great. So, you know, things don't slow down. They don't slow down, you know, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things that are in the works right now, too. You know, I'm not sure. The air rifle team probably cranks up at some point in time. I'm thinking, you know, and
Coach Rucker be ready, and our friend David Hare, he'll be crunk up ready to go.
That's exactly right. David definitely will be. You know, just a lot of things going on.
One thing I do want to point out, Todd, is the Turkey Bowl starts tomorrow.
Right, that's exactly right. You know, let's don't forget about that.
This week and next week, man. There's going to be a lot of kids out there, and you know, come out and support them. They need their support out there too. That's our future Blue Devils.
That's exactly right.
And you know, come out there and support them. There may or may not be a good-looking fat guy out there refereeing. That'd be me.
Probably not.
That'd be me, not Scott Burgess. So y'all come out and support them kids. They need your help and support also.
They definitely do. And you know, once again, they're out there because they love being out there. You know, these kids are excited about it. I mean, you know, for them to play in the Turkey Bowl, that's a big deal.
That's right.
That's a big deal. So
a time-honored tradition around these parts.
Absolutely. You know, that involves kids other than kids from here in Tift County.
That's right.
You know, you got kids coming from other communities to play in the Turkey Bowl, so it's a big deal, real big deal. And hey, you know, economic impact on Tift County.
Yeah, that's right. It's a big draw, and the Sertoma Club helps with that.
Oh yeah, they've done that for years.
Years, man, and it's
kudos to them because that's
right.
You know, a lot of work involved in that.
There is more than you ever dream of.
That's exactly right.
It's getting big every year that we have a hard time putting officials out there.
Wow.
And we're having to get friends from other towns to come in and help us for the Turkey Bowl.
You got friends in other towns?
Acquaintances, friends, whatever.
Let's make sure we get that clear.
I call them friends. They call me whatever. So
yeah, I'm sure they do.
So, boy, friends like you guys, I tell you what, why'd I ever get married? So
that's right.
But anyway, what else you got there, Todd?
Man, I tell you, what else?
I don't know. We're not going to be here next week.
No.
We're going to be celebrating Turkey Day a day early, so we'll try to be back the following week and look forward. I guess we're going to start hitting on some basketball and all these other winter sports, man.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
As always, if some sponsorship opportunities for this show, you can give us a call at 313-718-2557. You got my phone number covered up on this screen right here. I don't know if you can see that. So,
and then you got our contact information down here.
Yeah, it's down here. So Facebook us.
That's right.
We try to do every week. We try to do a player spotlight.
Please help us with that.
Yeah, please help us with that. We don't want to go out and pick kids and that kind of stuff.
We want you guys to do this for us.
We both have kids involved, but this isn't for our kids.
No,
this is for everybody else's kids out there.
That's right.
For a kid who may not get a chance to, may not have anybody to showcase them. If you know of somebody, let us know.
Yeah, and when we talk about player spotlight, we're not talking about player spotlight for football or anything like that. Any sport, any
cheerleading, ROTC, these unsung heroes that go out and golf, cross country. Man, it doesn't matter. Whatever you've got out there, if you've got a kid who you think needs some recognition, or just want to see yourself on a podcast, man, this is it. Randy,
I was looking through a GHSA website one time and looking at the different things that are sanctioned by the Georgia High School Association, and you'd be surprised what's out there. I mean, there's some things that Tiff County doesn't offer that's on there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a whole lot. Go to GHSA.net. It's a great website, man.
It is.
I browse it periodically just to see what's going on in the state.
Your brackets will be out there. They got a lot of their rules and stuff on there, bylaws, what have you, and a lot of good information on that website.
Certainly.
It really is. So I encourage you to go visit it.
Yep, that's exactly right. So eligibility stuff's on there.
That's right.
In your wrestling, the weight cut program now.
Exactly. Yep.
That's kind of a crazy deal. But anyways, a lot going on. We look forward to all your interaction. We have a live web chat that goes on during this podcast. We urge you to get on and log on.
That's right.
Live at live.anero.tv.
There you go. That's it.
That's it. I guess we're going to be wrapping it up.
That's right. I mean, say next week's Thanksgiving, and we may look a little heavier next time when you see us. I'm going to eat some. I'm
going to eat some and then some more. So
that's what it's about.
And I might eat a little more after that. I don't know.
And then dessert.
I don't eat a whole lot of dessert.
You will, though. Some.
Yeah, I will. I'll do something. If I got to go to the Waffle House and get a cheese Danish or something like that,
Hey, let's drive up to the QT, get one of those milkshakes you were talking about.
Awesome. QT milkshakes. Who'd have thought that a rest stop, Quickie Mart milkshake was so good? Go to the QT whenever you're on the road to Atlanta and get you a milkshake from out of there. Man, they're good.
We'll try that. Well, I'm Todd Gann.
I'm Randy Meadows. This is the Devils Lair, and we will see you next time. Thank you all for your support.
Go Big Blue.
Blue Devil Nation.
This has been a presentation of the Anero Media Network. Your reality distorted.